Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Dun, dun. It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey there everyone, it's Beaton, and we begin year 2 of Trash Can Tidbits. It's been a heck of a first year, and hopefully more great content will be heading your way. A few episodes ago, I asked the question, which Hollywood action star was featured in the Neversoft video game Apocalypse? The answer is Bruce Willis. The game was Neversoft's first original game, and despite it featuring the likeness and voice of the action star, it wasn't much of a financial success. However, the game was directly responsible for the team getting the job of being the developer of the Tony Hawk franchise. Reworking the game's engine and controls, Neversoft pitched their concept of a skateboarding game to Activision and Tony Hawk himself with Bruce Willis's character model on a skateboard, and they got it, leading to one of the most influential gaming franchises of the early to mid-2000s. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that the Junkie XL remix of Elvis Presley's song A Little Less Conversation appears in 2 different entertainment projects that not only feature the city of Las Vegas, but also separately featured an acting father and son? The song was used in the movie Ocean's 11, which also featured Scott Conn as Turk Malloy, one of the 11 members of the crew. The song was also used as the theme song to the TV series Las Vegas, which starred Scott's father, James Conn, as main character Ed Deline. The Ocean connection didn't end there either. One episode of Las Vegas also guest starred another member of the Ocean's crew, Elliot Gould. Fact 2. Did you know that there's a reason why Dorothy tells the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz that she'll miss him most of all? In one draft of the screenplay, there was to have been a subplot in which Dorothy says she has a crush on the Scarecrow's Kansas counterpart, Hunk. The subplot was taken out because it would have been too distracting from the main plot, but the line stayed in. Also, it would have been inappropriate for Judy Garland, a minor at the time, to be kissing her much older co-star Ray Bolger in a movie made for children. Fact 3. Did you know that, contrary to popular belief, the famous sound effect from Law & Order isn't actually the sound of a judge's gavel? The sound is in fact meant to represent that, but in reality it was created by combining close to a dozen sounds. The most documented of these sounds is a group of monks stamping on a wooden floor. That's pretty interesting, considering at first glance you would think that they just used an amplified sound of a judge's gavel or even a jail cell door closing. Fact 4. Did you know that when country star Reba McEntire made her television debut in her self-titled sitcom in 2001, the producers weren't actually sure they wanted to actually call the show Reba? Rehearsals for the show gave the main character's name as Sally, which was originally the title of the show, and in fact the name Sally was said out loud in rehearsals instead of Reba. Before the cameras rolled for the actual show, they finally decided to use Reba's real name for her character, Reba Hart, partly because her fans would appreciate it, and because Sally was too generic of a name. Fact 5. Did you know that Janet Waldo, the original longtime voice of Judy Jetson on The Jetsons, was hired at first to voice Judy in Jetsons the movie? She even recorded all of her dialogue for the character. However, it was the studio's decision to hire a younger, hipper voice actress instead, and they went with a then up-and-coming singer named Tiffany, who also sang a few songs on the soundtrack. As is often standard procedure in Hollywood, known celebrities are hired to bring younger audiences to movie theaters. Waldo's voice can still be heard in a couple of Judy's lines, particularly in some of her exclamations. After the movie came out, Waldo did continue to play Judy in several other Jetsons productions until her death. Fact 6. Did you note that the website Rotten Tomatoes was specifically created because of Jackie Chan? The site's creator, Seng Duong, is a huge Jackie Chan fan, and leading up to the release of Rush Hour, all of Jackie's Hong Kong action movies were being released in the United States to capitalize on this. Duong decided to write reviews for all the movies and put them up on what eventually became Rotten Tomatoes, which he ended up creating in a total of 2 weeks. Today, the site is one of the highest regarded sources for web-written movie reviews. Fact 7. Did you know that the original Sly Cooper game had some television spots directed by a famous Hollywood director? In each of the commercials, police would be called in to investigate a crime and search for the culprit. In this case, a real raccoon committed the crimes, alluding to Sly Cooper himself. These spots were directed by Doug Liman, who had made such hit films as Swingers and The Bourne Identity. My personal favorite commercial took place on a train and had police walking through, and the camera points to a woman who asks the passenger next to her what that was all about. And the camera dips down to reveal a raccoon wearing a fake beard. Classic. These spots can be unlocked by getting 100% completion in the original game. Fact 8. Speaking of the movie Swingers, did you know that Vince Vaughn, one of the stars of that movie, was hired for a big Steven Spielberg movie based on his performance in that film? The filmmakers approached Spielberg for the use of the Jaws theme to be used in one scene, and Spielberg asked to see some footage before he gave his approval. Not only did he say yes, he also liked Vince Vaughn's performance so much that he hired him to play Nick Van Owen in his next film, The Lost World: Jurassic Park. Fact 9. Did you know that legendary jazz drummer Joe Morello was legally blind? Despite that handicap, he had mastered music at an early age, first playing violin, then transitioned to drums after being told at age 15 that he would never be able to truly master the classical violin sound. Ha! Shows what those masters knew. Morello would go on to become one of the most acclaimed and influential jazz drummers of all time, best known for his stint with Dave Brubeck and playing the famous drum solo on the track Take 5, all while having partial sight. Fact 10. Did you know that despite playing Bea Arthur's mother on The Golden Girls, Estelle Getty was 1 year younger than both Arthur and Betty White? Old age makeup was used to make Getty look like an older woman who acts like a teenager. Also, Getty was known to have massive stage fright and, by her own admission, always felt that she was the least funniest and experienced of the other actresses on the show. I think although Bea Arthur's Dorothy had some of the best one-liners, Sophia definitely matched her with some really amazing comebacks. And here's this week's trivia question. Former NCIS cast member Michael Weatherly played Special Agent Anthony DiNozzo on that show, a talented but rather cocky character known to be a charmer, a ladies' man, and the frequent target of Special Agent Gibbs' head slaps. Before he played DiNozzo, though, Weatherly co-starred as a famous actor in The Mystery of Natalie Wood, which was about the mysterious death of the actress who was married to this actor. In fact, the very same actor Weatherly played would go on to play DiNozzo's father on NCIS. My question to you is, which Hollywood actor played by Michael Weatherly on The Mystery of Natalie Wood ended up playing his father on NCIS? And there we go for this week. Now where do you think we should go next week via green screen? Comment below. Special thanks goes out to Jim Wine, aka Tom Possum, for creating my brand new animated opening sequence. I hope you like it and consider giving him a buzz for some art. I'll put his info down in the description so you can go check him out for yourself. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.